at last.
Hey, don't go anywhere because we have seen Darth Maul's staffs, like all of them, are fantastic. They're amazing, but we have yet to see his brother, Savage Opress, which is phenomenal, really. There's really no other way of putting it. And we're going to check that one now because this is Ultimate Works' amazing dual staff lightsaber. You're not going to want to miss this, so stick around because I promise you this one is going to be really cool.
May the Force be with you, Padawan.
Hey nerds, welcome back to the channel. I am your host as always, Luke Skywalker, and you're watching the Fellowship of the Nerds. If it's the first time that you're here, please consider subscribing, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for your support. It means the world to me, everybody that helps me making these videos. And of course, if you like what you see, please leave a like and leave a silly comment for the algorithm. And answer me this question, first of all. Did you find Savage Opress to be a controversial figure? Now, there's a lot of people that not only thought that bringing back Maul from the dead was a bit of a out of left field situation, and it kind of felt like maybe they were just recurring to someone to save a show. There's been words for many years that no, it was always a thing that George always toyed with the idea that Maul had survived, and it was something that was there. Be that as it may, the fact that he comes back, and he comes back thanks to the help of Savage Opress, who goes on to find him. Savage, having become a disciple of Count Dooku, is a bit twisted. And it's, I can see how some people might have found the character be a little bit controversial, but I thought it was cool as hell. And the fact that you get another Dark Force user from Dathomir with, you know, all the tattoos and the horns, it was like, you know, I'm not going to say I was that young when Phantom Menace came out, but I was young enough. I was still in my teens to be captured by the figure and the, you know, the persona. So to have another one like that, and one that seemed a lot even more savage than Maul, I was on board. And the fact that he was gonna be the way to get Darth Maul back, I was more on board. So of course, once I realized that this lightsaber existed, and that there were two variations out there. You get the one that we're reviewing today, Ultimate Works, and you also have an LGT. Obviously, and I don't mean this as an offense to LGT Nexus, like if you have something that's as Ultimate Works, rarely you would go with LGT unless you had, you know, you were more thinking about budget. But Ultimate Works is an amazing piece of work, no pun intended, as we're about to see on this unboxing. Okay guys, so this is a little bit of a weird unboxing because usually you get this saber in two types of configurations. You either get a big box with the whole thing, or you get two separate boxes, and in our case we got the two separate boxes. Now the good part of that is that we've gotten a stand, and on here we have gotten, you can see there, Plaque from Savage, although we have gotten our Nerf Loot Plaque, which we'll be checking out later. So that's a positive. And then we've gotten two separate boxes. And on behind door number one, we get our actual Hilt. charging cable and the screwdriver and all that sort of good stuff. And then on this, I'm guessing will be the emitters and the cores. Let's see, yeah, our emitters are here. And yeah, this is a more charging cable and screwdriver, and here are our Proffie cores. So absolutely cool. And let's see what's in here. Oh, and a charger, like a proper battery charger, right? Independent. So I'm guessing that this will be the same. All around, really cool. And here it is. Look at this. Look at this. It's insanely cool lightsaber. The detail of its play plugs, its buttons, the D-rings on both sides, funny enough. And the fact that you have a light here that, sure enough, will light up once you, and you see the blade plugs are there. And you can kind of hint at the core through here, which I'm not entirely sure if that was intended or not, but it's definitely a cool extra. Besides of this, we are having this plaque made by Nerdsloots, as always, as all our plaques are always. If they're not the ones that come with sabers, like any sabers or elf sabers, we will always go to it Nerdsloots, or we've almost always gone with Nerdsloots. Famously, we have the ones that Hayden Christensen and Rosario Tano signed, that we did that with our friends at Plaques for Proffs, which we obviously, of course, always recommend them. But look at this. This is really, really freaking cool. As always, Nerdsloots totally recommend it, and they always work with you for whatever you want to do plaques-wise. Now, onto our saber. This, I have to say, from the start, it's very, very light. I was surprised at how, easy to maneuver was, because it is pretty light. When you put it together, the problem that this saber has, in my mind, is that the fact that the emitters that you would have seen in the unboxing, the emitters are separate pieces, and then you get this tube as a hilt. But the cores rest on the emitters, so obviously because their ultimate works, they're that plug and play, really, technology that they have, the pre-kit, which is very cool because it can alternate between Asteria and Proffie. But because it goes like that, so it's essentially depending at first that you will basically hold on to the core, or the core will hold on by this. And then once you put this, and there's like a thing there that will like hold everything together, so like the core is not bouncing around and disconnecting. But just to make that connection and make it this twist, and especially make these align, it's a bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. So that I think was a bit, I'm not gonna say disappointed, but it was a bit of a unexpected challenge. But other than that, also the fact that because Ultimate Works cores, they work either way, you have to be mindful of which one you put in if you want the red button to be your ignition. So if that's what you want to do, you'll have to put, as you're seeing this, you'll have to put the core so the battery faces to the right. So essentially, like this, it's facing to the right of the hilt, and then you'll get the ignition on the red button, which I know it's gonna sound weird, but it's something that is definitely cool. Now, having said that, we're running this with Savage Opress Soundfont that does not come with the saber, so that was definitely down, and we'll get to that in pros and cons. But we're gonna showcase the Soundfont from Savage Opress and check out outside how amazing this looks like in the dark, because this is really, really cool. Okay, this is absolutely magnificent. I mean, look at this. What? What? Look at that. Like, that's insane. And the fact that because you can, you know, I don't want to say that you can control them, but because of the nature of the cores, pretty similar to 89 sabers and all the high ends, once you put them in conjunction, you can activate both sides with gestures, which, don't get me wrong, there are some that will work with gestures. So say, for example, the Old Man Maul from LGT, that one does work with gesture, but that's essentially because it's one core controlling with just two emitters. It's not two cores, where this is two cores independently. And they still... So, you know, that right there, that is enough. Now, just for the sake of purposes of this review, let me just take out one blade so I can operate better with this. Now that we've taken out the blade, we can continue, but I want to show you something that I didn't get to show you in the unboxing. So, and in the box, you get these little pieces, right? You get two of these, and you're going to ask me, what's that for? Well, you see this? Because this is pointy, and especially if you're doing conventions and stuff, you're always going to run the risk of one convention telling you, no, you can't go on with this because it's, you know, a risk or whatever, which fair enough. You have the option to essentially remove these and put these, which are flat and rounded. So like theoretically with this, no one will tell you no to get in. So I think that's a cool thing. Also, in the interest of us having taken off the blade, I just want to show you this only has one retention screw right there. Right there. It's very, very solid. It retains it very well. And these take 1-inch blades. So have that in mind. Now, having said that, let's take a look at our fonts. We already saw that this starts with Savage Opress.
How does one defend against such power? How does one defend against such power?
Really cool Soundfont.
Savage Opress.
Also have this variant of a blade that's very similar to Kylo Ren, so like unstable, what I mean by that. Bullshit.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Yeah, there we go. So that's Force Awakens Graphics.
I'm a Jedi, like my father before me.
Luke's Episode 6.
I am no Jedi.
Ahsoka. This will be the snid, so like the green one. I'm not entirely sure why we'll go with that Soundfont, because that Soundfont is whenever it's already full fulcrum, so it should be white.
I've come to kill you.
Old Man Maul. Absolutely love Old Man Maul.
I claim this sword, and my rightful place as leader of Death Watch.
Also, very much looking forward to Maul Shadow Lord. I don't know when you might be watching this, so it might have already been out for a while, but really, really looking forward to that.
This party's over.
Hindu.
Hello there.
Clone Wars Obi-Wan, which is... And we're back to survive. Now, it doesn't bring a lot of sound fonts, but that's not a bad thing, because, you know, realistically speaking, you also, if you have a 36, you're not going to be using the 36, are you? So I wouldn't call that a down. Downs of the Saber, I already discussed that brings no sound font for Savage Opress, so I think that's a down. And the fact that, you know, when you're putting the cores, that fragility, if you will, of like putting them and then securing them and stuff before you actually can enclose it, and then it's fine. That's a bit of a down for me. But other than that, everything else is up. Like the fact that you get these pieces so you can switch things out in case that, you know, you're going to convention, that's going to cause a problem. That's amazing. The fact that you get the dual gesture controls without any issues, that's amazing. The fact that, yes, I've always said that I preferred 7/8 of an inch blade because I find them brighter. But the fact that these are 1 inch, it means that they're very, very secure when it comes to operating the saber. So what I mean by that is, like, this is not heavy by any definition of heavy, but it's not also, it's not lightless, right? So like it does have some weight. And the fact that if you were to have blades that were too light, when this has a not that much weight, it might feel a little bit weird. So you want a little bit of weight so you can get the gravity of it, if you will, in a logical way. Sure, you're gonna tell me, dude, you're talking about gravity on a lightsaber? Come on. And yes, you'll be right. But, you know, realistically speaking, when you're operating, you want to look good when you're using your lightsaber. So this being a little bit of weight, but not too much, also means that you should have a blade that is not super light. It's also not heavy. So, you know, you'll want blades like these, like KR blades or Ultimate Works blades that are light and that you'll be able to operate without any issues. It is a lightsaber though, and this is the down for me. It is a lightsaber that, as of now, is complicated to get. The LGT version is one that you're going to be able to find without that much issue. However, I managed to get this, actually, if I recall correctly, for pretty much less than you would get the LGT currently, because the LGT version of this is not a cheap saber. So, as I always say, shop around, shop smartly, but also shop around, because this one is not that easy to find available as it was when it came out. So there's that. But other than that, amazing saber. Is this one that we recommend? Heck yeah. It's sort of, I mean, I don't want to say complete Darth Maul's collection, because this is not a lightsaber but from Darth Maul by any means. But it does make sense to have it if you have Darth Maul's lightsaber, because especially if you have, like, you know, you have the collection of them, because I mean it is so linked to Darth Maul. I mean, this is his brother, fellow Dathomir and another child of Mother Talzin. So yes, you want to have this, and it looks so, you know, where the dual staff of Darth Maul looks aggressive, and it always has in my mind look, even though it isn't, but it's always looked like, wow, look at that. But this with, I mean, yes, it's a bit on the nose. I mean, just the name of the guy itself is on the nose, but this scream badass, like all across the board. So 100% recommended. And that is our video, nerds. I hope that you find that useful. Remember that I have been your host, Luke Skywalker. It's been a pleasure to get you through one of lightsaber reviews of something as cool as this. And remember, the Force will be with you always. Remember, nerds, to live long and prosper. May the odds be ever in your favor, Melanin. I'll see you around in the next review, nerds.